So Etsy just rolled out some really cool autumn updates for you. So I thought I would summarize them in this episode so that if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of changes that are coming up recently, A, you are not alone. B, you just need to listen to this / watch this and it's going to tell you everything that you need to know. So I'm going to be breaking them down for you, what's new, what matters most, and how to actually use these changes in a good way and to save time and grow your shop, especially coming up to Q4, Christmas, the holidays, Black Friday, all those kinds of things. So I have got some notes here, so I am going to be looking down just so I can make sure that I get this directly from the horse's mouth rather than it being like, a third party person, blah, blah, blah. So I know that Etsy updates can feel really intimidating. There's lots of big words, there's lots of jargon, there's lots of new tools, there's lots of new stuff. And I feel like at this moment in time, it feels like every single time you're logging into your Etsy dashboard, there is something new and you're left wondering like, do I really need to care about this? And to be honest, 60% of the time you don't, or it doesn't apply to you, or you don't really need to know about it. This episode is basically going to be your cheat sheet, okay? Let's break it down into like 3 big themes because I feel like that's just going to make it easier. So the first theme is to stay on top of what matters most. The second theme is to save time with smarter tools. And the third theme is to grow your reach and connect with more buyers. So I've kind of like split it out into 3. So if you just want to like skip ahead to the one that matters most to you, then you can do that. So number 1 is you have some new dashboard tasks, okay? And they say that your shop manager now shows like time sensitive actions. So things like dispatching orders, reply to messages, renew listings, all at the top, no more digging. Now, I know some of you have probably had this for a while, but actually, believe it or not all accounts have. So they've now like officially rolled it out and said, hey, this is like the dealio with that. The second thing is recent activity filters. So this is where you can quickly see buyer actions like item views, reviews, offers, and you can respond in one click. So if you do have offers on, if you do want to know about that sort of stuff, then that's a really handy dandy thing. The third thing is they have seller checklists. So especially if you're newer, Etsy is guiding you step by step to reach your first sale faster. Now, what I am going to say is that this is very like basic stuff. So don't get excited and think, oh yeah, Etsy's going to like teach me exactly how to get my first sale, because they don't and they won't and they never will. Mainly because everyone's shop is so different. Their advice is always extremely generic. It's always very obvious. Things like make sure that you have like your photos, make sure you have your titles clear, make sure you filled out your policies, all that kind of stuff. It's all very like basic, not very helpful stuff, but it's still good to have that checklist. So if you are like going through the process of like setting up your shop, then you know exactly what you need to do next. And the last thing is they say on the go learning. So they have things called micro lessons, which again, following along from the whole it's kind of basic thing, they're kind of saying, okay, here's how you list an item, here's how you get your postage labels, all that kind of stuff. I feel like they are doing this because Etsy is very fastly becoming like, it's gone from a simple platform to quite a in-depth one. So I feel like they're having to do this because there's a lot of different buttons, a lot of different menus. But it's kind of handy dandy to kind of know that, all right, if I want to change my shop banner, I've got a lesson on how to do that. Okay. I feel like a lot of these changes matter because it's about efficiency, right? Because I know it's so like lame, but the more time you're spending on doing something or finding something out or sorting something that, shouldn't really be taking your time, but it does, the less time you have to actually be creative and grow your business. So it's all about efficiency. And I do feel like the new dashboard thing where they're telling you, okay, this is your like time sensitive stuff, is kind of handy. Theme 2 was save time with smarter tools. Okay. So they now have some Etsy AI listing help. Now, I am going to talk about the title thing, okay? So they now have title guidance and they have this AI tool that's supposedly helping you to write your titles, okay? Now, let me just read you their official thing. They say, Etsy can now suggest clear buyer-friendly titles that also work for SEO. You can bulk edit listings with real-time feedback. Now, the problem that I have with this is that they're saying one thing and then saying something completely different, okay? So let me explain why. The fact is that they are encouraging you guys to have extremely short titles. Yes, they're saying, you know, short titles, 2 to 3 phrases, like keep it as short as you possibly can. But they're also saying use long tail keyword phrases. And we know long tail keyword phrases are not short. So them saying keep your title short, but also use long tail keyword phrases, they're kind of saying one thing on one hand and telling you to do something different in another hand. So they give you 140 characters for your title space. If it was me, I would focus more on getting like 3 to 4. This is my personal opinion on what I've tested, what works well. And also my students and the team and stuff as well. It's not just me. I would focus more on getting 3 to 4 long tail keyword phrases in my titles. I'd worry more about that than I would worry about keeping my titles super duper short. Okay. I personally do not like the fact that they are putting a giant red banner going, your visibility is lowered, because I'm going to be honest with you, everyone saw that and panicked, changed their titles, changed everything. And then what happened? It reset the algorithm clock. It literally tanked everyone's views, everyone's listings, and everyone is having to like rebuild their ranking back up again. So my rule of thumb is if your titles and your listings are getting views, they're working fine for you, do not change them. I don't care what flashing thing on the Etsy dashboard, like if it's working for you, do not change it. If it's not working for you, or if you're listing new stuff, I would suggest to do the 3 to 4 long tail keyword phrases. And if your title ends up being a bit longer than perhaps Etsy says it should be, then that's fine. Like I'm not going to remove really good, decent phrases. What they don't want, and what I don't want you to do, is to keyword stuff the living daylights out of your titles, because that's not going to serve anybody. Google hates it, Etsy hates it, and people reading it hate it too. So that's the title guidance, right? Now they have come up with this AI tool that's supposedly going to help you to write your titles. However, my students using it, and the people in the Facebook group and in my community, they've been using it, and they've also said that it's tanked their views. Why? It's basically designed to read your listings. It's going to read like all the info that you've got. It's going to look at the image and kind of tell you what it thinks the title should be. I'd say probably 80% of the time it's not accurate at all, and 100% of the time I don't think it's very good SEO practice. Not only that, but the AI tool does not know your niche. It does not know your target audience. It does not really truly know how the product is made. So how can it ever give you an accurate title recommendation? It can't, right? So that's the title guidance. I just really wanted to mention all of that because I've had so many questions about it. So I just wanted to cover that. Also, they have now got attribute suggestions. So they say if you're missing a product detail, Etsy now prompts you to fill them in. So that's kind of handy, because attributes has always been kind of one of those like last resort things that people just kind of go, oh, okay, fine. So that's handy. The second thing is a writing assistant. So they now have draft replies to buyer messages using your shop's info. So that's really, really cool. And they say early test shows sellers who reply within 2 days have a 27% higher conversion rate. So they're basically doing that whole thing again, harping on about if you respond to customer messages quickly, you're probably going to get a higher chance of getting the sale. Nothing wrong with that, apart from it does put pressure on you guys a little bit to respond back, but it is what it is, right? They also have, for non-US shops, they have auto billing. So that means no more missed bills, no more your account's going to get closed if you don't pay your bills. So that's something that I feel like is long overdue. Like I said, some people have already had some of these things, so you might have already had this. That's fine, but they've now rolled it out to people who aren't based within the States. They also have a policy violations page. So if you're like, they've removed remove one of my listings. I don't really know why. I don't really know what's going on. Where do I find the issue? If you go to the policy violation page on the left-hand side menu in the back end of your Etsy shop, you should be able to find that. And it's basically like a nice one place to track issues, appeals, all those kinds of things. So don't be alarmed if you see it and you're like, oh my goodness, what have I done? You've probably done nothing. It's just a nice, neat, easy way to house it all, basically. They have also done a redesign, rejig of the community hub, so it's easier to find things, learn, join teams, all those kinds of things. And with post-purchase messages, Etsy now automates order confirmations and delivery updates. So that's kind of cool. Makes it easier for you guys, but I would still kind of look into whether or not you can actually use your own as well. But it does kind of help you to stay in contact with people. And what I like about that is that we know that if you're really communicative with the people who are buying from you and spending their money with you, chances are you're going to get a higher rating. So that's really, really good. And I think like one closing thought with this theme here is that AI isn't replacing you. And I have mixed feelings about the AI SEO tools and the AI tools that they're starting to weave in. For a platform that is discouraging the use of AI in products by closing shops down, removing listings. Basically, they have kind of in a nutshell said they don't really like heavy use of AI. You know what I mean? Like the ones where like they're not making it, they're just typing a bunch of words and then just selling the thing. For a platform that's kind of against AI, I feel it's kind of a bit hypocritical for them to then start to have like AI tools. But I also understand that that's what people want. That's what people are asking for. And I guess they'd rather keep people on the platform than going and using chat GPT and all that kind of stuff. Because what I have seen a lot of is a lot of handmade business owners have started to pump out a load of mediocre stuff, aka mediocre content, mediocre SEO, mediocre sales copy, even mediocre products, because they're using chat GPT to just do all of the heavy lifting. Now, if that's you, like no shame, but you do lose that connection. Connection equals sales. And if your sales have tanked, if your sales have reduced, if your views have gone down, I would really look at your use of how heavily are you relying on AI. With handmade businesses, they are creative. AI can never be creative in a way that the human brain does. It just cannot. It relies on facts, stats, numbers, and it also relies on regurgitating information from the wider web. So therefore, AI can't really be creative in the same way that you can. And areas where that matters is things like creating your products, your titles, your tags, your SEO, your sales copy, your social media content, how you market yourself. These are all places where I would strongly discourage heavy use of AI, because everyone ends up sounding the freaking same and no one connects with you. People just scroll on by. So I've had a couple of rants, but I feel like they're hopefully helpful ones that are going to help to kind of, really, I guess, put your mind at ease about various changes and things. So theme number 3, which is grow your reach and connect with more buyers. So let's go through the changes there. So we now have marketplace insights. This is a huge one. This is an amazing one. And I think like we've had 2-3 years of the whole beta search term thing. It's no more. It's not beta. It's actually working. So this is where we want to see what buyers are searching for in real time. Okay. So this is basically a mini E-rank built in within Etsy themselves. Okay. Now they are basically sort of charging you for it with the whole credit thing. Think of it a little bit like Etsy ads. It's that kind of way. If you do have Etsy Plus, you do have unlimited access to this tool. So I feel like over the coming months, Etsy Plus, the subscription cost is going to go up. Like we all know that's coming, right? Like you heard it here first, September 2025. I'm predicting Etsy Plus will increase in price. I personally think at the moment, with the price that it is, and you're getting this marketplace insights thing, it's really, really worthwhile doing. And I personally would recommend doing it. It's basically, like I say, it's basically like a built-in E-rank where it gives you what buyers are searching for in real time. So that's worth playing about with. Like I said, if you're on, like, if you have a free account, you get 15 free keyword searches per week. And it basically just gives you more insights, helps you to spot rising trends, choose the best keywords for your listing, and plan inventory with confidence. So it's like a mini version of E-rank, Marmalade, Allura, all those kinds of things. So that's kind of cool because it means now that we don't have to go to outside sources. Now, this is like very early days for this tool. So, you know, there's going to be some bugs, there's going to be some naffness with it. But eventually, I would love to see that replace it, so that then you have, using Etsy's actual API, Etsy's actual real data, rather than a third party, you are going to see what's trending, what's going on, keywords, insights, blah, 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 blah. However, it is not, from what I can see, it's not going to analyze your listings. It's not going to be like, okay, this is the keywords I would use for this. It's more looking at the marketplace in general, what people are searching for, what search terms they're using, all that kind of stuff. So that is a huge one. That's a massive leap. But like I said, I do predict that Etsy Plus subscription will increase in price. They also have new color themes for Etsy Plus. So that's really, really cool. And it gives you more ways to like personalize your shop, which is very, very cool. Definitely worth having a bit of a play about with that. And also we have some Etsy ads improvements as well. Long overdue. We all knew that had to happen at some point. There's better placements for you, which means more sales for advertised listings. So Etsy says sellers made millions more from ads after the change. So what they're saying is that ads are changing, and yeah. And they said that as we shared in the spring, we've been working on enhancing ad placement in search, and those changes are paying off. So they're saying the new improvements are doing well. I reserve judgment until I can test it a bit more myself, and students can kind of have a little go. But it really, I feel like those last few changes, the color themes, the Etsy ads improvements, and the marketplace insights are really, really cool tools that I feel like we all should be using. So guys, I would love for you to go into your dashboard, explore these new tools, because they are really, really cool. This is a major update and definitely one that you should have a little nosy at. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, and I will see you all the same time, same place next week for another episode of How to Be a Handmade Boss. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you love this episode, make sure you hit the follow button so you never miss the next one. And also, why not come and hang out with me on Instagram? It's at Handmade Bosses for daily tips, behind the scenes. And also don't forget, you can catch the video version of this podcast over on YouTube too. Until next time, keep going towards your handmade business goals, boss, because the world really does need those special creations that only you can make.